Do you like to follow the news?
Yes, I do like to follow the news. I like to stay up to date with what is happening in my surroundings and also in the world. I feel that's important to me to be aware of all the important events that are shaping our reality.
Do you follow the news related to international events?
Yes, like I said, it's important to me to know what is happening in the world. I always scroll through the global news section to see what is new. There is always something happening in the world, always something that is of interest to me. I guess it's because the world is really big and well connected nowadays.
Do you get your news through the internet?
I would say that more than 90% of the news I get it from the internet. When somebody messages me about some new events, I don't turn on the TV. Instead, I open my laptop and I search for the topic. I think TV news or newspapers cannot compete with the internet.
Tell me about the biggest news outlet in your country.
It's called Wilson Online. I would say it's the biggest news outlet because it's the most trusted one. It was founded by the guy called Wilson. He's somebody who was unhappy with the way news is done today and he wanted to do it his own way. And apparently it really appealed to other people. He was somebody who personally looks into newsworthy events. He researches everything in a good way and then presents his unbiased opinion. Now he has a whole team of journalists who do the same thing and they are doing a great job, apparently because a lot of people like to follow their work.
Are you subscribed to a newspaper?
I am not subscribed to a newspaper in the sense that I'm getting a newspaper in a physical form, but I'm subscribed to several online newspapers. You can get all the news you want for free, but for professional coverage, I think you really have to pay.
You will have 60 seconds to prepare, and then you will speak for between 60 to 120 seconds. Start speaking now.
My favorite city is New York. I went there when I was a student, and I fell in love with it. What I really liked about New York was the Manhattan area. I really loved it because of all the skyscrapers that were there. For me, there is something magical about skyscrapers. For me, they represent all that is great about the modern era of humanity. I really love walking through Manhattan and looking at the buildings. I think my jaw dropped the first time I went there. I think that the people who live there are really, really lucky. I think that they are more cosmopolitan than the people in other cities. I had the opportunity to talk to several New Yorkers, and I really loved their perspective on things. I would say that they showed a higher degree of awareness about the things that are happening in the world. They know about my country and about the issues we were facing. I would absolutely consider moving there. I think New York has everything that I need. The only issue with me moving there is the fact that living in New York is really expensive. Right now, I cannot even afford a room, let alone an apartment in New York. For now, it remains a dream. I think that I would truly be able to say that I am successful if I ever move to New York.
In what way are the people who live in cities different from the people who live in small towns?
I would say the people who live in cities, I think that they are used a faster tempo of
They are
living.
used to.
They are used to a faster tempo of living. I always saw that city people tend to move faster. I guess it's because they need to do a lot of things during the day.
In your opinion, why is the population of cities increasing?
I think it's really easy to answer this question. It's because there are more opportunities in cities. Now, it's considerably easier to move since we live in a world that has been made smaller due to new transportation technology. So when you pair the fact that it's easier to move around with the fact that cities provide more opportunities, you can clearly see why people are moving to the city.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of the population increase that the cities are experiencing?
One advantage that I heard about and which is really interesting is the fact that cities are more energy efficient. If we have more people concentrated in one point, it's easier to provide food, water, electricity to them. I think the disadvantage is that people who live in the cities, I think that they tend to live unhealthier lives since the air in the cities is not as fresh as it is in the countryside or in smaller towns.
Do you think it's difficult to raise a family in a big city?
I would say it's definitely more difficult when you make a comparison with a smaller town. First of all, you need more money. Everything tends to be more expensive in a city. And I would say that this also applies to the things that you need to have if you want to raise a family. So, yeah, it's definitely tougher in a city.
What do you think is the most important place in a city?
I want to say that the park is the most important place. The reason why I say this is because I think that the people need a place where they can escape, so to speak. I think it is really necessary for the peace of mind. It's a great place where families can come, where couples can go on dates.